And so it turns out that the last of those faces I saw was that of my son, Bond. But this was in a setting where I had no memory of him whatsoever. It was Sunday morning, day 7 of coma. The doctors had done a very good job in my family of protecting Bond from the worst news during most of this week. But that morning, Sunday morning conference, I'd been in coma 7 days. They were recommending stopping antibiotics, mainly because I was not showing positive signs of any neurologic recovery. And my neuro exam showed a very damaged brain and brainstem. And so they were basically recommending stopping antibiotics. Bond, 10 years old, my son was outside the door, overheard that, thought this is very bad news, went running down into ICU bed 10, pulled open my eyelids, one eye looking over here, one eye looking down there, both pupils fixed. That's not a pretty picture, as anyone in medicine will tell you. I promise you I didn't see him with my eyes or hear him with the ears, but he was pleading with me, Daddy, you're going to be okay. Daddy, you're going to be okay. And it was the emotional power of that appeal that really drew me back to this world. It was my love for Bond, even though I had no idea, of this relationship, father-son relationship. All I could know and feel was in that moment, that very powerful sense of he needed me, and I was the only one who could actually be there for him. So through most of this journey, given my amnesia, I had thought it can continue, it can all cease, it doesn't matter. And that was one thing that allowed me to be fearless. But at this point, at the very end of the journey, when I recognized Bond, not as my son, but as a deep soul who I had a responsibility to, I had tremendous fear. That was the biggest fear of the whole journey, because now, all of a sudden, everything mattered. And I did not understand the workings of these rules. I did not feel like I had any kind of free will to really navigate and take charge of my journey. But I knew I had to come back to wherever that soul was to be there for him. And that's what really drew me back, was my love for Bond. And of course, that expanded very rapidly in those first few days as I realized all this other wonderful family I had, coming back to this world.